I had the great pleasure of calling every one of the games that Roddy Jones ever played in at Georgia Tech. I also called every one of the games that Tashard Choice played in at Georgia Tech. A lot of wins, a couple of hard losses, but elsewise, 2 great running backs. We brought Tashard Choice on this show today, and he joins us live from Georgia Tech. Yeah, and he's got a great running back because he's Jeff Collins' running back coach. And we just had David Hale on this show. And David Hale, who writes for the ACC on ESPN.com, Coach Choice, said, I'm excited to see what Jameer Gibbs can do in a full season of football at Georgia Tech, a full 12-game run, and what kind of numbers he can put up. So if David Hale's excited, I got to believe his position coach is excited.
Absolutely. It's going to be a big year for him. Just seeing him what he's been doing this offseason, his gains as far as his weight. I think he's maybe up to 204. I talked to him yesterday just to mess with him a little bit because we get back in the office next week. So having a chance to see him, having a little break, but continue to work. So he's excited. I know he's excited. I know the rest of the guys are excited, but Gibbs got a chance to be really good. I hope he's better than me. I hope he's better than Roddy. His expectations, his standards have went through the roof for me. So I got to get him there. You know what I mean? That's my job, to make sure he gets better and better every day. So it's going to be exciting to see what he do this year.
Well, Choice, if he's better than you, then he's automatically better than me because you were one of the greatest to ever put on the helmet at Georgia Tech. But it's more than just Jameer Gibbs in that room, though. I mean, that you have as deep a running back room as anybody in the country with Jordan Mason, with Dante Smith, with Jemias Griffin. All of those guys can really play. As a running backs coach, how do you manage all of those guys?
You know what's interesting? When I got into coaching, Tyrone Wheatley, who coached me at the Buffalo Bills, and I got a lot of mentors like Coach Mockins that's coached for the Denver Broncos. When you get into coaching, you have to understand your players, and you also have to understand the work that takes place in the offseason so everybody has an opportunity to play. When you have a room full of guys that bring a lot of different things to the table, the main thing you want to emphasize is the moments, making sure you take advantage of your opportunities. And so when guys have that mindset, it's the same thing when you get into the NFL because you don't know how many reps you're going to get from time to time in different games. And so I try to make sure I get the guys to understand when you got an opportunity, you got to make the most of it. Be explosive, change the game, be somebody on the offensive side of the ball that can bring a fire, a light, ignite the offense. That's going to be huge. So when I have a room full of guys, it's always competition is king. Coach Collins' mantra is that for our whole team, and I live by it as well because, as you know, the cream rises to the top. So the guys in the room, they love to compete. They love the chance, opportunity to play. So it's been pretty cool. It's one of the things that actually is organic and it happens itself.
All right, let's cut back here a little bit because going to break, we ran some video of the Deuce running the rock here.
Oh, you did? I ain't see it. I wish I would have got to see it.
Oh, yeah, we're getting ready to show. Yeah.
Can we get that? Let's get that. Let's get that. We got to get that.
Hang on. Let me get there first. All right. Now I want to show you this bumper video we just ran. Okay. I want to show you this video, and then I'm going to see if our group can put Jameer Gibbs behind it. Okay. Now look at this number. Here's the graphic. You ran for 3,300 yards in your career, which was only 3 seasons. You led the ACC in rushing. You're the only 2-time rushing champ at Georgia Tech. When I watch Tashard Choice run and I watch Jameer Gibbs run, or any of your running backs, I'll throw Mason and Gibbs. All right, now here's the shade and the 2-2 and catching it out of the backfield. What about your game do you see in Jameer Gibbs?
Give him some, Choice. Give him some.
Yes, sir. You better know it.
What do you see here, Choice? I mean, what is it about your game that Gibbs translates? What do you want him to translate?
The biggest thing to me that translates is to his ability to make runs. He's a natural runner. Like once Gibbs got into camp and I watched him run inside and outside zone, but his understanding of the game of football, like it's very important for freshmen once they get here to see how well they transition to the college game. His understanding of plays, how to read blocks, and his ability to get better and better in his footwork. I think those are the things that make us similar. But I always tell him he ain't as tough as me. You know what I mean? He don't run as hard as me, and so I always get on him about that, just at least to have a little. You know, I gotta have a little pride with me.
Yeah, come on, tell them, Choice.
For sure.
I told her like you did. Let's go.
Yeah, I talk trash to all of them. I tell them they weak, man. They ain't strong as me, man. I'm still stronger than all of them. I tell them all the time. I just mess with them, though.
There you go. So you mentioned something though that I think is huge for a running back, and we don't talk about enough on this side, and that's the footwork, the understanding of the blocks, the scheme. And in terms of running backs that I've seen up close, you were as good at that as anybody. How do you impart that to your guys, the why, the footwork, the vision that it takes, the not missing opportunities, the getting extra yards, creating those extra yards? How do you teach that to your guys?
Well, first, Roddy, I always, to make sure, like LaDainian Tomlinson taught me, like when I was going through and what made him better from season to season before he became the league MVP was understanding defenses. First, understanding defenses, knowing your reads, your landmarks, and always running with second and third effort, and how you can make people miss in the open field. That's a huge thing for me, to break tackles, the ability to make people miss, but more importantly, to understand what are your offensive linemen doing, and understanding defenses, because when you can play the game of football and then understand before and have a pre-snap look of what you're about to face and understanding what the defense is playing, it'll put yourself in better situations so you can make better plays and make better runs. And so when we watch film together, Roddy, you know how it used to be in our film room. You used to hate when you watch film because you would look at yourself, and we are on self-critic, and you miss runs. You see you have a 140-yard rushing game, but you could have had over 200 if you just stayed to your rules and your keys. And so I try to make sure the guys understand that and have a good mindset about how you go into each game and each practice, to always try to work on the little things, because when the game is fast and when you're in practice and when you practice at a hard and fast tempo, when you get to the game, it's way easier.
All right, now, Tashard, here's the other thing, too. We can talk about offensive football. We talk a lot about run game here. But I know the other thing you took a lot of pride in as a player, and you've done it as well as a coach, be it in Atlanta or at North Texas where your career kind of started and flourished a little bit, is you want guys that aren't scared to step up in the gap and make contact on pass rushers either. You want guys that can block. And in the way you guys run the offense for Coach Patnode, guys have to get out in space and contend with that a little bit, don't they?
Absolutely. Just understanding with our offense being a pro-style type of offense, as a running back, it's very important that you understand defenses and, more importantly, being able to block. That's one of the things I probably put my hat on the most. Like, I get excited when guys make runs, but more importantly, when they block, when they fit the window and be a part of that offensive line. Me and Coach Key work hand in hand together to make sure we have a good plan every week. But I emphasize that even in practice, how we finish individual drills is always blocking, always some type of blocking drill, because I want the guys to understand, to be a complete back, you have to be on the field all 3 downs. And it's nothing worse than having to get off the field on 3rd down because you can't block and you can't protect. And so when I got into the NFL, that was a big thing, protecting Tony Romo. That's something I took very at a high level. And so when your coaches and your teammates know what you're in the game for and you do it at a high level, you always want to make sure you do it for your others. To see a quarterback throw a bomb down the football field and catch it and we score a touchdown, that's huge. It's just as important as you running the football. So I try to make sure the guys know our emphasis on making sure we protect at a high level.
Choice, you mentioned your time in the NFL and the connections that you made, and everybody who plays with you, man, just absolutely speaks glowingly of you, and me included, having shared a locker room and a position room with you. But how do those connections help your guys when you're able to refer them to, hey, I saw how this NFL back did it. I talked to LaDainian Tomlinson about that. How does that help the way you communicate with your players?
You know, when you say something to somebody, when you talking to a kid, you have to have some type of experience to really have something behind what you're saying, because you can only say so much. And so a kid, when they listening to you, when you can reference a certain point or you can reference a certain guy, have a guy come on and talk to him, especially with doing Zoom during the pandemic. Having guys like talking to Zeke, or having Jeff Wilson, my running back that's at the 49ers. When you have guys are talking about Terrell Owens or different guys that I played with, Adrian Peterson, Calvin Johnson, when you can reference those guys and talk about the work and talk about the dedication and talk about what they did on and off the football field just to win a down, just to become a better football player, guys have to respect that, because if you ultimately want to get to the place where they're at and where people have been there and succeeded, you have to have some type of knowledge and understanding of what they did to get there. And so as me, when I was coming up, Roddy, I was always big about being a great teammate. And everything that I said, I wanted to walk it. Wanted to make sure I was in the weight room first. Wanted to make sure I was the last one off the football field, because when the game got tough, if people looked to me to make a play, I wanted to make sure everybody in that huddle was like, okay, cool, I'm good. Choice gonna run this ball. Let's block for him. He gonna get it done for the team. Like, that's the type of stuff you want when you want the football. So my high school coach, Coach Al Hughes, my guy, he always said he wanted football players that had the wants. And if you had the wants, meaning you wanted the football, you wanted to do something, that's what it was all about. So that's how, Roddy, man, it's just a lot of experience that I have from great coaches and great people around me to always want to be the guy to change the football game to help your teammates out.
All right, final thing from me. There were a lot of people excited about Jeff Collins' arrival. There were a lot of people excited more about all the former Georgia Tech guys that were going to be part of the process, right?
Right.
You already mentioned Brent Key. Count you among that. Nathan Burton, Will Glover, Marco Coleman. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on and on about Kevin Cone is back there now helping. I mean, you got all these guys that were a part. Aaron Joe's still a part of the football program. You got all these guys that have connections to Georgia Tech football. And I hate to say your old choice, but, I mean, you played 15 years ago. Marco played 20-some years ago at Georgia Tech. But the idea that you guys are all a part of this now, what does that mean to you now that you're a couple of years into it?
It's more than anything, it's very important. I have my own goals and ambitions, as well as understanding the goals and ambitions for Coach Collins and every one of the guys that he's brought back. But more importantly, this white and gold and what we represent at Georgia Tech, this thing run deep. I'm gold-blooded to my core. As a man and being where I am right now, you understand what got you there. And being at this institute and what it brought me as far as understanding how to carry myself on and off the football field, how to apply myself in the classroom, and also to prepare myself in the game of football, I owe it everything that I have. And so when you come back and to get this program to where we want to be known and get it back to times when I was here at school and when Roddy was here at school, and even when you covered the game, Wes, that's our goal. And it's been tough, but it's been challenging, but it's okay, because hard is the way. And so where we're gonna go from here is just continue to work and continue to grind, because once we get on the football field this fall, I'm gonna be really excited to see the guys and see them come together, because it's been a good offseason for them. And so I'm really excited. But just to let you know, I ride or die with this white and gold now. It's something deep it's deep inside of me. So when I talk to players, when I recruit, and when players see me and they know what I represent, this junk run deep now. It run deep in my veins. So you better know I'm live and in color for this year now.
Well, the white and gold obviously runs deep, but the city of Atlanta runs deep too, because you're from the south side of Atlanta, called you Southside's finest. You represented everywhere you go. How easy is it? How easy is it for you to go out to recruits? And you've done a great job of it, particularly in that room. How easy is it for you to go out to recruits and to tell them about the greatness of Atlanta when you're a product of the South Side and what Atlanta has to offer?
I'm so thankful. You know what I mean? When and to make sure you guys understand, wherever I come from, I was born in Thomasville, Georgia, which is South Georgia, and raised on the south side of Atlanta. I'm all Georgia. And so when you come from the different experience and you understand how it has drawn you to become who you are today, it makes you reflect and it makes you thankful. And so when I recruit these guys, I want them to understand the city of Atlanta, what is the 404? The grit, the people, the institute, and then also being a part of Georgia, like the relationships that you have from here to the time that you come back. You know, people tell you it's a 30 or 40 year a decision that you make, and ultimately it's been a lifelong decision that I made coming here to Georgia Tech. So I try to make sure I tell the guys, listen, what you're going to get is everything that you put into it. And if you put in everything that you want into this white and gold, it's going to come back to you full throttle. So, you know, Roddy, you're a testament to that. And Wes, you've been a part of this Georgia Tech white and gold. And so both of you guys, you know, understand how special this place can be and the people that makes it, you know, the main thing. So it's awesome.
Hey, Choice, here's the other thing. I mean, let's be honest. When they start feeling themselves a little bit in that running back room, right, and they start feeling real good about where they are in life, do you remind them subtly, hey, look now, I got 115, 120 on the Giants on a Sunday night NBC game now. Y'all don't be trying to crack anybody up in here. I mean, I was the player of the game for the Cowboys on a Sunday night on national TV. And then when you hit them with that punch, do you then say, hey, by the way, I closed the Orange Bowl one time too now. I closed the Orange Bowl game against Miami. All that Miami, I closed the Orange Bowl. Do you throw those two at them, Choice?
Yeah, hey, now listen, I hope I don't get in trouble, but I'm going to tell you, if the running backs come on here, they tell you they good, I tell them all the time they sorry as hell now. And that's a little thing that I tell them all the time. I always try to keep them humble. You know what I mean? My mom taught me that, so I make sure my backs understand that. But the thing that I do hang my hat on, Roddy and Wes, is this. I don't talk so much about the games per se, but when you go to that weight room, and you see under Calvin Johnson lifter of the year, then after that name you see Tashard Choice. That's what means something to me, because that's the work. That's the grind. That's the off season. That's me telling you my goals and everything, what I'm committed to and what I'm convicted by. It's by growing. It's by working my tail off on and off the football field. So if the guys, if they know anything about me, is that hard work works. And that this Georgia Tech, this GT right here stands for grit and toughness. And that thing gotta carry your whole lifetime while you're here. And so that's what I try to make sure the guys know. But you know, I always try to make sure if they think they good, I put them back down now.
Okay, I got you. All right.
I love them though. I love them though. They're my guys though. They know.
I know. Hey, Roddy, you know what we got to do? Choice, here's what we got to do before we let you go. I got to do this from my man Packer, who's coming back from vacation. We ask a question to current student athletes all the time, but yesterday, Tony Elliott, who's a Clemson grad, was on this show, the OC at Clemson. We asked him this question. So I'm going to ask you the question Packer asked every student athlete on this show. You ready?
Okay.
What was the hardest class you had in your time at Georgia Tech?
It is no doubt about it. It is calculus. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I thought I was good with math until I saw all the X's and U's and W's, and they supposed to mean a number. I'm saying, man, I thought math was supposed to be 2 + 2 now. You know, where I grew up. So it's, hey, listen, you should have seen me that first math class. All I could do is pray. You know what I mean? Ask the Lord to help me out a little bit.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Ooh, amen to that. Oh, man. Tough days.
How did I know calculus was going to be the answer, Roddy? How did I know calculus was going to be the answer?
There was never a doubt. Honestly, though, Wes, I'm going to put you on the spot right here, though. You called every carry that Choice had as a Yellow Jacket. What was your favorite Tashard Choice call that you called in your career?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one, Roddy.
I will say the long run against Miami, I thought he was going to score against Miami. The long run to close the game at Miami, I thought you were going to score, Choice. I really did. I thought you were going to break it.
Hamstring, slow, should have worked harder. I'm sorry too.
It was late in the game, Wes. Late in the game. Legs tired.
Wes, I'm sorry too. You know what I mean? So when I watch film, I'm like, damn, I'm still sorry.
Still sorry. Got that right.
Everybody gets it in the film room.
Everybody can get it. Everybody.
Hey. All right. Great to see you, Tashard. Be well. Have a great holiday weekend. Stay in touch, and good luck the rest of the summer, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the fall, my man.
I appreciate y'all, fellas. Y'all stay easy, man. Appreciate y'all.